Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new video. In today's video, we will be doing a comparison of the Islamic Jesus as it is found in the Quran, as well as the Jesus that is found in the New Testament. Now, I have here with me the Study Quran. This is the second volume of a 3-volume work published by Darussalam. I'll make a review of this. And then here is my New King James Version, my go-to Bible. When I'm doing academic videos, I'll mostly be using sources from the New Revised Standard Version. But on a personal basis, I do enjoy the language of the King James Bible, not the New King James. This is the New King James. But the King James Bible I have here with me. But I'll not be using it because the language is foreign to our modern times. So I'll use the NKJV because it is quite similar to the KJV, quite, but not actually. But today we will be comparing the story of Jesus in Surah Maryam, the chapter 19 of the Quran, okay, as well as Luke. Now, the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the reason why I've chosen Luke, because even though our videos will be hours and hours long, but try to make it short here for our purposes here. I'll just be comparing chapter 1 and 2 of Luke, that's all, with Surah Maryam, because it has the most parallel. We have the birth of John the Baptist, as well as the birth of Jesus in Luke, okay? And we also have quite similar stories in chapter 19 of the Quran, Surah Maryam. Okay, you can follow along with me, but I'll not be reading from these two books because I just want to make this like a narrative. I do not want to read from here, but you can go to chapter 1 and 2 of Luke, as well as chapter 19 of the Quran, okay, verse 1 to verse 32 of Surah Maryam. Okay, so Luke, it is found in my New King James Version, as well as chapter 19, Surah Maryam of the Quran. Now, what is the similarities? I'll present the similarities first, and then I'll present the differences, okay, and then I'll present something that neither the Bible mentioned, okay, the New Testament Luke mentioned, as well as what is not, what is somewhere in the gray area. And this is where you can neither you accept it nor you reject it, and it wouldn't mean anything. Now, the first things first, the Gospel of Luke mentioned the birth of John the Baptist, as well as, this is the similarities, as well as the Quran mentioned the birth of John the Baptist. What is the parallel here? Okay, the parallel here is that in both the scripture, the New Testament Luke, as well as chapter 19 of the Quran, John, okay, was the very first name given to John the Baptist. Before this, no one has the name John ever in history. Okay, and the Arabic parallel to John is Yahya. Okay, and before this, there was no one called Yahya in the history of mankind. Okay? And so this is the similarities. This is the very subtle similarities here that we find that is absolutely huge in a sense. Because if you look at the major things in when comparing the Quran to the New Testament, there's a lot of major themes. But if you really want to know how major it is, it's actually not to look at the major things. It is because major things are well known to everybody, okay? But it's to actually look at the subtle things that people normally do not see, and that both the name John or Yahya was the very first name given. Okay, before this, no one has the name John or Yahya before in the human history, according to the Quran and the New Testament Luke. Okay, the second similarities that we find in both the Quran, chapter 19, Surah Maryam, and Luke, okay, the New Testament Luke, was that Jesus was born of a virgin. Okay? Both of the scripture mention that Jesus was born of a virgin. And how significant is this? Okay? It is hugely significant, because no one, according to the history of mankind, was ever born of a virgin before. Okay? Not that we know of, because that is just unthinkable. And so what was the reason behind God in both the scripture? What was the reason behind God making Jesus born miraculously? Okay? And this is something that the New Testament never explicitly says, okay? Nor do the Quran really explicitly says. Okay, now what do I mean by says here? Okay, obviously they say Jesus is born of a virgin. Okay, but what is the reason that Jesus need to be born of a virgin and sent to the Bani Israel, to the children of Israel? Okay. Now, in some translations of the Quran, it says Jews, okay, An-Nasara, and Christians, okay. It came from Ahlul Kitab, but I believe the more accurate translation would actually be the Israelites. Okay. Now I'm not disputing the translation of the word Jews, okay, because but if you look at scholarships, okay, Jews only came after the Second Temple period, or possibly after the first exile. Before this, they were the Israelites, okay, and then the priests reinterpreted the teachings of the Israelites, and so on and so forth. Again, this is the history of Judaism. And you can refer to the book by, what's this guy name? The History of Gutzman, okay, the History of Judaism. But again, so I believe the more accurate translation would be the Israelites, okay, but it depends on some context. But when it comes to the context of Jesus, okay, Jews is the more accurate translation, because the Israelites were no more; they were khalas. Okay, and this is according to historian. Okay, the Israelites were the descendant of Moses, or the group that Moses came to, and then after the exile and the reinterpretation of the teachings, and then the Hellenistic influences, so on and so forth. So the Israelites were no more, in a sense. Their teachings they're now called Jews, in a sense. Okay? Even though these two terms you can use them synonymously, okay, in a sense as well. But to be more specific, during the time of Jesus, it is actually the Jews. But when the New Testament make mention of Moses and then the people of Moses, so on and so forth, the more accurate translation should be the Israelites. This is just my 2 cents. But anyway, let's move on with our narrative here. And so, why was Jesus needed to be born of a virgin? Obviously, we do not know. Okay, but the Quran implicitly somehow refer to this. Okay, it is because possibly one reason out of 2 reasons which I will present here was because that to show that Jesus is actually a prophet sent to the children of Jacob, okay, the children of Israel. After Jacob wrestled with a divine figure, he became Israel. Okay, he wrestled with God and he came out alive, in a sense. And so the children of Israel, they rejected Jesus, okay, and this is found in the Quran and the New Testament, okay, Luke, the Gospels, as well as Mark mentions. Paul vehemently opposes or condemns or somehow rhetorically explicitly condemned the Jews in his authentic epistles, Galatians and Romans. It has all to do with circumcision and so on and so forth. But we do not want to go there. But anyway, so another similarities was that Jesus was a prophet sent. Okay, and John the Baptist clearly mentioned this. Okay, and the Jews rejected John the Baptist, and then they conspired, and then they get rid of John the Baptist. This is found in the Gospels, okay, not only in Luke, in the other Gospels as well.